Welcome to the Bellingham-Whatcom County League of Women Voters interviews of candidates for the school board for Nooksack Valley School District 2. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We never support or oppose a party or a candidate. My name is Michelle Kopsha, and my guest is Connor Smith, who is a school board candidate. We are asking both candidates for this office the same 3 questions. Each candidate has 2 minutes to answer, and the responses are timed. This video of candidate Smith's responses will remain on the League's website until after the general election on November 4th, 2025. Candidate Smith, thank you very much for agreeing to this interview and for seeking to serve in public office.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Okay, your first question is, and you have 2 minutes to respond, what specific issues or goals inspired you to run for the Nooksack Valley School Board?
I would say I had the privilege of working with the school district. I work for a construction company, and so we, a couple years now, did the Sumas Elementary, the new school. And so I had the privilege of working with that district. My kids go to that district, obviously, but to be able to see inside of the machine, I guess. And so I have the opportunity, the company I work for, we do a lot of school projects, and you get a look behind the curtain as you do school projects. And Nooksack, I mean, my experience is, going to Nooksack. My parents were both educators that worked within the Nooksack district. My kids go there, and nothing but positive feedback from that. But to see the ins and the outs from behind the curtain was wildly refreshing. I have nothing but good things to say about the district. And so for me, it was the ability to serve it and be a part of what they're doing, which I think they do an exceptional job at. In terms of issues, there's not issues, and that's not necessarily the charge of the school board. It is to have an agenda with issues. So that's what the administration of the district's for. That's what our state regulators are for. So my reason for running is to serve our community and serve a district that I have appreciation for.
And your second question, what is your philosophy on academic curriculum decisions, particularly around culturally responsive education and representation?
Yeah, loaded question. And personally, and like I mentioned before, I'm not an educator. I don't have a background in education. I haven't been formally trained as an educator. And so that is the policy, the curriculum is best left to the professionals, in my opinion, the people that have been trained on this. And in this time, are there a lot of charged issues that have blowback within the community? Yeah, 100%. And it'd be foolish to skirt around that. Personally, I think we don't need to be afraid of ideas. I think, either which way, right? That we need to be able to speak to ideas and let ideas stand on their own merit. So that we shouldn't be afraid of things. But in terms of my interaction with curriculum, that's not for me. That is for the administration, for the educators that are part of that district to make those decisions. And am I happy to be a resource and voice my opinion and voice the opinion of our community as I understand it from the constituents? Yeah, 100%. That is my responsibility. However, that's a two-way street, right? That's a conversation, and that will be part of hopefully what I'm able to do as on that school board.
And your final question. How do you plan to engage families, educators, students, and community members in participating in our schools, whether that be in decision-making, volunteering, supporting, or the many ways our district is made better by wide participation in a district covering distinct communities in Everson, Nooksack, and Sumas?
That that is a great question. If I had a perfect answer to that, I'd be the man for the job. That's the tough part. That's the tough part. Um, and full transparency, I there's ideas, but I haven't been in the seat. So I don't know what the best tools are. That's something that I'd be excited to explore. Um, but it's being a part of the community. The biggest part for me, what I know I can bring is I'm part of the community. I live in Everson, I work in the area, and I see, you know, with between kids sports, um, you know, high school sports, the plays, the all the events that the school does, you do get an interface, and it's having supporting that, talking about those things, you know, encouraging others to participate across a bigger bandwidth. Um, but yeah, um, you know, maybe one of my own personal things is being able to bring the trades, the community of trades and construction, a little closer to the school, and ideally interfacing. That's a community that I work with daily and interface with. And from my perspective, some of the technical education could use a bump start and could use help from the industry itself. And that's a, you know, a small way, but not necessarily that small, to create connection within the community and provide value to the students at the district.
Once again, thank you for giving the public this insight into your views and values. Viewers, please remember to vote by November 4th. Ballots sent by mail must be postmarked by that date. And if you plan to put your ballot into the mailbox, I would encourage you to do that 5 to 7 days before that date so the postmark gets on there. Ballots placed in an election drop box must be submitted by 8 p.m. that day. For more information, please see votewa.gov. That is votewa.gov. Thank you, and remember to vote.